We've spoken about the usual suspects in CAF's inter-club competitions, but now there's a new story that is brewing in the Confederation Cup. We have a new team everybody should be worried about, and that's Nairobi United of Kenya. SC, what an amazing fairy tale story. They were playing in the second division only last year, and look at where they are today.
Look, this is the kind of stories we want to hear in African football. New players coming into the fold, new teams coming into the fold, and definitely this is a team coming into the fold in the CAF Confederation space. Yes. And when you look at that, it simply says that football is growing. But ideally, you have to also go back a little bit, go back into the Chan tournament, look at how Kenya performed. You know, Benny McCarthy gave them a little bit of oomph to say, you know what, you guys can go the distance. And you saw what they did in that Chan tournament. So when you look at Nairobi United, for me, I think they put their best foot forward. And they did something that's quite good. You know, in the CAF Champions League, when you play it, definitely you have to win your home games. And when you do that, you're simply telling the team that you are playing against that you've got your wits with you. You understand what it is that you want to do. Man. And they definitely knew what they wanted to do. Because going back into the second leg, they knew that the only thing they had to do was get a draw and push the game to penalties. And it was simple, just as like that. So when you look at that, for me, I think they did so well. And probably me using the word so well, it's probably because of lack of a better word. I think they really are a team to really give props out and say, you know what, Kenyan football, you guys are doing well. Nairobi United, it's been great.
Amazing, because it's a team that was only formed in 2015. Can you believe that? And they won their first round of matches on away goals. It was 3-3 that match that they played. Now, Eto'o du Sahel, I'll put my hands up and admit it. I was one of those people saying they were going to lose. But now, to come back, 2-2, penalties, 7-6, what a boost for this team.
Look, we can't discredit them, and you also have to give them their flowers to say, who did you beat? They didn't just beat anyone. That's not nobody. I mean, Eto'o du Sahel is such a huge team, you know, in the Tunisian football space, you know, and they literally obliviated them away from the scene in terms of what they wanted to do football-wise. And for me, I think going into the group stages, I think they're quite solid enough. This was a good warm-up for them.
So no Kenyan team has ever done this. Gor Mahia did it in 2019. Well done to Nairobi United of Kenya. But SC, this means that there are no Tunisian teams in the Confederation Cup.
Unfortunately for them, I mean, you look at Stade Tunis being pushed out. They play a debut with Esperance every time they play in the Tunisian league, and they find themselves being knocked out by Safi, you know, one other team that we didn't look at, and we're like, who's this? Who are these guys? And they come up and said, hey, we'll raise our hand, we'll raise our foot, we eat grass, we let the ball wall, and they definitely did that with Stade Tunis, beating them 3-2. You know, when you look at this, it sends out a message to say that football, the margins are not so big anymore, and you can tell with these small teams coming up that something is happening in the African space in terms of football.
Oh, speaking of the margins closing in, let's look at the COSAFA region, because there's some incredible stories there. Stellenbosch, who would have thought that they could score 8 goals in 2 matches after their recent struggles?
Look, Stellenbosch, it's been a team that we looked at here in South Africa. They played the semi-finals last season and they were knocked out by Simba, unfortunately. But this is a team that you have to always give props up to what they've done throughout the seasons, losing a lot of players and key players. But Steve Barker has managed to take this team and compile them as one of the great teams that's coming up into the continent and that's coming up in South Africa. They were struggling earlier on in the season when they started off. Look at the game they played now recently against Golden Arrows. I think for them that was a good game for them. You know, I think it was a thriller, and they needed that kind of game to be a high-tempo game so that when they come up again into the CAF Confederation game, they'll be much prepared. And they literally did that. This was a good outing for Stellenbosch.
And the Glamour Boys?
Glamour Boys. You know what? The two co-coaches, I had my doubts about them. But now when I look at the team and I'm like, okay, they're slowly coming into fold. And when you look at this, I think for me, Kaizer Chiefs, I have to give it to them and say, the goals they scored what I call total football goals. You look at the 3 goals they've scored. The first goal they score, it's a recovery type of goal, you know, from midfield being recovered and be recycled into the back 4. And Cross puts in a ball diagonally to Lilepo, takes a shot, rebounds off, second ball from Igadaro, he puts in the back of the net. Second goal they score is from a training ground. Vilagazi whips in a cross in there. Definitely, you know, the captain puts his foot in there. It's a goal.
SC, I can listen to you all day talk about Kaizer Chiefs' performance. Igadaro, his hold-up play, amazing. But Anyway, let's move away from that because some drama happened in these qualifiers. You don't want to miss it. We're going to talk about it. We're about to unpack it. Stay tuned.